Okay, don't know what's going on there. So much for the introduction. What the hell is going on? I don't have it muted. Well, guys, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm here. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel. I know you can hear me. I don't know what happened to the intro there. That was weird. Let me see. Let me try one more time. Nope, there's nothing. What the bloody hell is going on? Let's see. Let me try something else here. Yeah, I've been having some challenges anyway with okay. Don't loop, restart, and then yeah, nothing. Okay, we're gonna have to figure that one out later. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where technical difficulties often cause me to have consternation. I know that's still up there, but whatever. So some of you saw that last night I started to watch the Trump Elon Musk conversation, and then I realized how much it was getting into my bedtime, and it was kind of rambling when I was watching it, and mainly because it wasn't an interview. They were just basically shooting the shit over the airwaves and talking about a lot of stuff, and they talked for a long time, and it just didn't fit my schedule, and I probably should have thought of that before I decided to watch it. It also the fact that it started about a half hour late. There was a denial of service attack on parts of X that does the spaces, which they were doing the interview on. So it didn't start for almost 40 minutes after they said they were going to start it. I think they were supposed to start at, what time were they supposed to start? They're supposed to start at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And it was quite a bit after that before they got started. So it was interesting. They talked about issues mostly. They didn't get into the weeds on some stupid stuff, although they did talk about the assassination attempt. They talked about his opponent, Kamala Harris. They talked about immigration. They talked about a bunch of stuff. And so we're going to I want to get into some of the reactions from the media, at least the media headlines, because the media is spinning it their way. Plus, Donald Trump had a weird kind of lisp going last night. I don't know if it was technical difficulties or if that was him. And so some people were saying, oh, he was slurring. I'm sorry. I thought you people were really in tune to people's speech impediments, and Joe Biden had a stutter, so Donald Trump has a lisp. What are y'all trying to say? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we'll get into that and more. Let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. I really don't know what happened to my intro there. That was weird. Anyway, first in the chat today, of course, is Mr. Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell. Also, good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, Kara Soldier, Renee Mayette's in the house. Good morning. You're here early. Nice to see you. Aaron Meredith, what's up? JB is in the house. Also, Gunfox61, the outstanding administrator of the server. How do you, Marty? Not sure if you'll be able to handle this news. Oh man, Orange Man, very bad. Yeah, I saw. Where yours articles will be prominent in what we're going to talk about today, because a lot of stuff was coming out before and after this interview. And things that they think, oh my gosh, we got Donald Trump on this now. So a lot of people were talking about a certain news article that Gunfox dropped in the chat today. Also, good morning, Rick Ashbringer, Attack Alpaca, Roasted Opinions. Number one is in the house. Willie will stay here is here, and Scribe Light, Dog Thrapple. And looks like Johnny Boomer Tech's here. Thank you, Johnny, for doing your job. John Arnott, good morning, and Tyler F. So, thanks to the people who've already done some positioning of the show in the ethersphere or internet sphere, whatever. Somnambule Nation, Scribe Light, and a bunch of other people actually liked it. So, but if you're going to like it, you might as well repost it. I appreciate that. If you do that, that'd be great. So let's get into some news. First on the docket, it is a special day, especially if you are left-handed. Oh shoot, you're going to be able to see this? I think so. Today is International Left-Handers Day for all you lefties. All you deformed, rotten, physically retarded people. No, I'm sorry. If you're left-handed, you know I love you. I don't think it matters if you're right-handed or left-handed. It doesn't tell me anything about your character. But since everything is mostly geared to a right-handed world, we honor those who have to go the other way, who are on the other team, so to speak. And if it weren't for left-handers, baseball would not be as cool. And I can't think of anything else. Weird scissors. That's all I can think of. So happy International Left-Handers Day. I hope oh, good Lord. I'm not going to show that. Yeah. So if you're left-handed, happy Left-Handers Day. Good morning, Big Dave's in the house and Shrapnel's in the house. Good morning to you. Also, today we got the core producer price index numbers, and some people are like, I guess, excited about this, that the inflation, as far as the producer pricing, is still 2.2% over last year, and the estimate was 2.3% or something like that. So they're excited that it's better than the estimate, which the estimate means jack to me. What actually happens is important. So here it is. Yearly change in core PPI has risen every month this year. The data suggests that inflation peaked, then cooled, and is now reaccelerating. Yeah, that number's up a little bit from last month, but even again, it's funny because some people are touting this that it beat the estimate, which who cares? It's still going up. PP numbers in year over year, 2.4% actual versus 2.7 estimated. Core PPI month to month, 0% actual, 0.2 estimate. Now that, again, month to month, it's funny that they even put a month to month number in there. It doesn't mean a whole lot. Unless it's a negative number, that's the only time you can get excited about month to month. But year to year, 2.2% CP, and the consumer price index tomorrow. PPI has been leading indicator for CPI recently. If CPI comes in at 2 point X%, it will be the first because it's been over 3%. So anyway, for those who are into the financial markets, that's something that you probably find important. Something I used to watch a lot when I was in finance. So, by the way, today's cup of coffee, the coffee is sponsored by the Great Lakes. No salt, no sharks, no worries. The cup I got when we were out in what's it sound? Mackinac Island, Mackinac City, Michigan. And then we were also in the Upper Peninsula. Got to see 3 of the Great Lakes that weekend: Lake Huron, is it Huron, Lake Michigan, and Lake Superior, because we drove along the shore of Lake Superior that weekend too. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelites in the house. Nice to see you.
That's right.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Gunfox61. I'll just replay the notification here, just because Gunfox dropped a couple Hamilton in the tip jar, which makes Gunfox61 the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Like I said, he dropped a couple articles that are actually right within the theme today, since we're talking about the Elon Musk, Donald Trump interview, conversation, whatever the hell you want to call that last night. But let's move on to more topics that are trending. Ilhan Omar is trending today. Now, today, I forgot. And I live in Minnesota. I forgot. Today is primary day in the state of Minnesota. And so there are a lot of people talking about Ilhan Omar today, because there's kind of a a movement sort of to get her to have one more person in the squad knocked out of Congress, basically. So it's primary day. There's a man named Don Samuels, who is a Democrat running in the primary rematch with Representative Ilhan Omar. And he came within 2.1% of beating her 2 years ago. Tomorrow we can stand up against division, rage, and self-serving politics that is tearing America apart and stalling progress. So go vote. So if you're in Minnesota, I know not a whole lot of Minnesotans listen to me, but if you're in Minnesota who happens to be in the 5th district, you can, Minnesota primaries are open. So apparently there's a movement to get a lot of Republicans to go vote for Don Samuels too. The problem is there are not a lot of Republicans in the 5th district, but here's Don Samuels. Let's listen to Mr. Samuels here and his pitch to oust Ilhan Omar. Here we go.
It's time. The dream that millions of Americans have worked for, the dream for a better life, is increasingly
I wish
out
they
of
didn't have
reach.
music in this.
Stagnant wages, soaring housing costs, and out-of-reach health care are making it harder to get ahead. But we can't restore the promise of the American dream by placing blame for past failures or refusing to work together. We need a bold, collaborative vision for the future. That's how we rebuild the American dream.
This is a good ad so far.
I'm Don Samuels, and I'm a proud product of that dream, and I want to make it possible once again.
This is a great voice,
I was born in Jamaica to a seamstress mother and a pastor father.
So another immigrant,
I
but
saw
that's not
America
unusual in the 5th.
as a beacon of hope, and I knew that if I could get there, I could do anything. That's why I fought to be a shoulder for the next generation to stand on. It's why when my wife and I moved to North Minneapolis, we were determined to make a difference. That's why we stayed in Minneapolis, even when a bullet shattered our nursery room window in our first week of living.
He was on the city council
We
for
never
a long
stopped
time in
believing
Minneapolis.
that change requires more than empty words. It requires action.
Okay, I'm going to leave that there. You can watch the rest of the ad, and there's not a lot left, but I don't want to spend the whole time watching the ad. But that's the big thing. There's a lot of people, if you go through this thread, attention, if you're a Republican or Democrat in Minnesota, show up and vote in the open primary to defeat Ilhan Omar tomorrow on August 13th. That was yesterday. He wrote this yesterday. Omar is running against Don Samuels for the 5th Congressional District. Minnesota, you deserve a representative who prioritizes your interests, not someone focused on representing other countries. You can fire Omar tomorrow. She narrowly beat Samuels by only about 2,500 votes in the 2022 primary election. Former Somali Prime Minister Hassan al-Khayr unequivocally tells community leaders that Ilhan Omar is in the government for Somalia and that the morals of those who vote for her are valid as long as she takes a chair from a black person or anyone else. It is very important that Ilhan Omar is a Somalian and in that she is in the government for us. So they think that she's there for them to represent Somalia. And she's made a statement like that before. And look, the 5th district has almost the entire well, not the entire, but a very significant population of Somalians in that district. And they obviously all vote for her, but we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see if we lose another squad member in this primary. So there you go. That's why she's trending. All right, let's keep going here. Also on the docket or in the trending topics, 1 billion, and this is in reference to the spaces last night with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And right now, almost it's over 1 billion. But 2 hours ago, almost 1 billion with a B views now. Elon and Trump hit it out of the park. Now let's get Trump back behind the Resolute desk and Elon in his administration. So this was how X said it earlier today. Between 7:47 p.m. and 10:47 p.m., President Donald Trump's space post received 73 million views. During that same period, there were 4 million posts about Elon Musk and President Trump's conversation on X, generating a total of 998 million views. Now, Here's the thing. That doesn't mean 998 million people watched it. That just means that it got that many views. Now it's because here down here, this is the post. This post is getting 11 million views. But still, because it could be people who were dropped in, dropped out, dropped in, whatever. Still, that's very significant. I mean, if you got over almost 1 billion views, you can guarantee maybe 50 million people saw it. The stream itself didn't get to 1 billion. No, it did not. So that, but I don't think. Yeah, exactly. It did not get to. It did get to 1 billion. Oh no, the stream itself didn't get to 1 billion. No, when I left the stream, there were 1.4 million people watching at that time. Around would have been 9:40 Eastern time, because it was 8:40 here. So it was interesting. And look, I would have stayed on it had I not needed to get up at 3 a.m. And so there you go. So anyway, that's why 1 billion is trending. It's trending both written out and and oh my gosh. Okay, there's an account on X called 3 Year Letterman, and it's a parody account, former high school or a football coach or a youth football coach and whatever. And he considers himself a legend, basically similar to something maybe not Ed Bundy. Yeah, Ed Bundy. Is that the character on Married with Children? Ed Bundy? Probably a similar character to Ed Bundy. And he put this on X. The viewing numbers are in, and over 25% of the entire world, over 1 billion people, watched Elon grill Donald Trump last night for over 2 hours. That's a world record and further proof of American superiority. And he puts a picture of Mark Zuckerberg. It's so funny. It's just funny. He's beautifully run. Yes, 3 touchdowns in one game. That was Ed Bundy. So anyway, now I think the rest of the trending topics are related to that. 1 billion again. Musk trending. Department of Education is trending because Donald Trump did say something about possibly getting rid of the Department of Education, Al Bundy. There you go. Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy. I was kind of mixing it with Ted Bundy. No, it's Al Bundy. The actor is Ed O'Neill. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. At the time he retired, I was in the same division as Walls. Senior leadership, like Walls, retiring to avoid combat has seriously negative effect on unit morale and retention. Because again, let's use that quarterback analogy. Let's say you're preparing for a big game, right? And you have a quarterback who at the last minute decides that he doesn't want to play against the Steelers because this is a local club team and they don't want to play against the Steelers. It ruins your morale, continuity, everything that you're going. You have to change leadership at the last minute, and it not good for his unit. So thank you for sharing that, Roasted Opinions. So the Department of Education came up last night, and then also USA Today is trending because of how they've been spinning this. Here's a couple examples. USA Today, where is it? Here's their headline. Trump rambles slurs his way through Elon Musk interview. It was an unmitigated disaster for fascism-curious billionaire who loves cuddling up to right-wing loons. Elon Musk is sure good at making right-wing politicians look stupid. Wow, that's a harsh editorial. I don't see the word opinion on the side of that, though. I'm sure that's just an opinion piece by Rex Hupke. I look at that and I go, is that real? Is that real? I don't know. So anyway, and also Drudge is trending because of this, because Drudge, his headline, where is it? Here it goes. Trump slurs through interview, increasingly bizarre claims. Drudge Report. So I guess claims that he makes are increasingly strange. So let's go to the articles that Gunfox gave us, because these are related to, first one from Newsweek, and we'll actually go through this, this one's kind of funny, because I don't know that Trump meant that if he loses that he would leave for the country for good. Here's a Newsweek article. Let's see. I may need a full screen for this. Hang on a second here. Let's try that. There we go. This is a Newsweek headline from today at 2:41 a.m. Donald Trump says he will go to Venezuela if he loses the election. Now, he made a little tongue-in-cheek comment, but here it is. During his interview with billionaire donor Elon Musk, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump said they could, quote, meet next time in Venezuela, end quote, if he loses November's election. Quote, if something happens with this election, which would be a horror show, we'll meet the next time in Venezuela because it'll be far safer place to meet than our country, Trump said to Musk. Okay, so we'll go. You and I will go, and we'll have a meeting and dinner in Venezuela. Because he was, God, this is so dumb. It was a tongue-in-cheek comment. But anyway, Trump had alleged that Venezuela released violent criminals from its jails and sent them to the United States to reduce its own crime rate. Their crime rate is coming down, and our crime rate is going through the roof. And it's so simple. And you haven't seen anything yet because these people have come into our country and they're just getting acclimated and they don't know about being politically correct, law enforcement or lack of law enforcement, or our police. I have to just end with this. We have a great police, he said. Trump has repeatedly made the unsubstantiated claim about Venezuela releasing prisoners to the United States. I'll tell you what, Venezuela's gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of 70% of their really bad people, he told Musk. Well, I'm curious because we are getting gang members from, like, I can't remember the name of the Venezuelan gang, but we're getting a lot of those. We're getting a lot of MS-13. Where are these? Now, I can't say that they emptied their prisons, and, Donald Trump has a tendency to exaggerate things, but where are we getting these gang members that are causing problems in the United States? And these people are committing crimes. Are they just upstanding people that all of a sudden decide to go bad once they got here? Or were they criminals before they got their little, what do you call it? The travel agents, known as the cartels that are making as much money trafficking people as they are trafficking drugs. Then he said their jails are about 50% put into the United States. Same with other countries, over 30%. Some are 50%. They're all different, he said. But the bottom line is they're all going to be 100%. Why wouldn't you put it 100% of it? So he got into a little rambling section there. But the funny thing is the headline here saying Donald Trump, he will go to Venezuela if he loses the election. He basically was making a tongue-in-cheek statement that it might be safer to go to be in Venezuela than to be here because of the crime that is caused by a certain section of illegal immigrants. The gang is called Tren de Aragua. Yes, that gang, the Venezuelan gang. Good morning, Faithless, by the way. So anyway, Robert Briceño Leon, the founder and director of the OVV, an acronym for the Venezuelan Observatory of Violence in Spanish, told factcheck.org that there is no evidence that Venezuela is sending criminals to the U.S. Quote, we have no evidence. Well, if factcheck.org is the one who said it, then I 100% believe it. Excuse me. Okay. So there's no evidence of the Venezuelan government emptying prisons or mental hospitals to send them out of the country, whether to the USA or any other country. Rather, he said the drop in crime figures for the country is a result of massive out-migration of nearly 8 million people since 2014, caused by worsening economic and living conditions. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has led an authoritarian government and has been charged with narco-terrorism and corruption by the United States Department of Justice. Well, that's interesting. The United States Department of Justice. Okay, so he's wanted in the United States. They're going to extradite him. I don't know. In July, Maduro was abruptly declared the winner of the country's election in what has widely been viewed as a rigged vote. In 2022, it was reported that Vladimir Putin and his top leadership were developing a backup plan to flee to Venezuela if Russia were defeated in Ukraine. Really? That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, they said no evidence of voter fraud either. But, oh, yeah, it's funny because now they're finding out that there are a lot of missing ballots in a couple states and whatever. So anyway, that's how Newsweek covered this. And then now this is kind of a tangential article because it's about Donald Trump, but not necessarily about the spaces last night. So there was a revelation yesterday that Trump flew to campaign events on Jeffrey Epstein's plane last weekend. Now that's the headline. Now this is fascinating because I think most of you already know this tiny little fact that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Okay? So Jeffrey Epstein no longer owns any airplanes. He's dead. And I don't know if his estate owns airplanes. I don't know. But Jeffrey Epstein is dead. So anyway, Reality Check is a Herald series, the Miami Herald, holding those in power to account and shining a light on their decisions. Okay? Have a suggestion for a future story, email or journalist. Okay, that's just telling you what this section of the Miami Herald is about. Former President Donald Trump's campaign flew in a blue Gulfstream jet formerly owned by sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, using it to travel to several campaign fundraisers over the weekend. The Miami Herald has confirmed Trump, en route to his own private plane to a campaign event in Bozeman, Montana last week, unexpectedly landed in Billings because of mechanical problems, a campaign spokesman said. He and part of his staff then flew on a small charter plane to Bozeman for a rally Friday night. The next day, he switched to another larger Gulfstream with a serial number that matches a plane once owned by Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my God! His former neighbor in Palm Beach, the campaign confirmed. Quote, "The campaign had no awareness that the charter plane had been owned by Mr. Epstein," the spokesman said, adding that the charter was commissioned by a vendor that has often been used by the campaign. "We heard about the former owner through the media." So the media watchdogs were out there waiting to see Donald Trump in Jeffrey Epstein. Well, at least they can finally say that Donald Trump made more than one or two trips on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, can they now? Oh, wait. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. So anyway, this was all the buzz on Twitter before that Spaces too. Epstein, and now they needed to let us know in the Miami Herald, which is Yahoo's publishing their article. Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges in 2019, accused of sexually abusing more than 100 girls and young women over the decades. Epstein was subsequently found dead in his Manhattan jail cell. A month later, his death, which was ruled a suicide by the Manhattan medical examiner, has long been a source of conspiracy theories. Oh, yes, those conspiracy theories, which makes the fact that his suicide was certainly just a suicide. They have video because they had video cameras on it. What? Oh, they didn't have the cameras weren't working. Well, the guards were there watching it. What? The guards what? Oh, they weren't there. They went on a lunch break during that time. Well, he certainly he must have killed himself because there was sheets and whatever he was hanging. What? the bed he hung himself from was only 5 feet tall. Well, look, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. He did kill himself. It was a suicide, and it was ruled a suicide by the medical examiner of Manhattan. And so there you go. Case closed. Anyway, but that's just a conspiracy theory, all that other stuff, right? What? I don't know. Anyway, Trump's use of the plane is likely to add to public scrutiny surrounding his relationship with Epstein. And it certainly, I'm telling you, the lefty shill accounts were all up in arms about this, even though no evidence has surfaced that Trump was involved in Epstein's crimes. Yeah, see, Donald Trump was one of the people who helped get Jeffrey Epstein in jail the first time, or at least that first time he got prosecuted. That was Donald Trump that got him. Donald Trump was the only one willing to stick his neck out and get Epstein convicted. According to flight data, the plane is now owned by an Ontario, California company, Threshold Aviation Group, which offers private charter service. So this wasn't even a Florida company. You know what? Does this sound like it's a coincidence, or do you think that when they had some plane issues and they were going to charter a flight, the owner of, what's this company called? Threshold Aviation Group, you gotta think that they did this on purpose. They did it on purpose. It had to be. There's no way this could be a coincidence. The campaign's spokesperson confirmed that the decal with the words Trump 24 was placed on Epstein's old plane for the trip. Trump's own private plane, a 757 named Trump Force One, was having mechanical difficulties, which led them to land in Billings, about 2 hours east of Bozeman. After Bozeman, Trump used Epstein's old plane to travel Saturday to a fundraiser in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then to Aspen and Denver. Trump Force One was then able to pick up Trump in Denver. Epstein's old plane was only used one day, the spokesman said. The Aspen Daily News reported that Trump arrived in a blue Gulfstream tail number G550, touching down at the Aspen-Pitkin County Airport around 4:45 p.m. Saturday. He was to attend a fundraiser hosted by the Trump 47 Committee, which supports Save America and the RNC. The paper reported the charter tail number N550GP belongs to a plane with the same serial number as Epstein's former Gulfstream jet. FlightAware shows the plane had been registered in 2018 to one of Epstein's companies. Okay, this goes on and on about this. Does anyone know this? I'm somebody at the Miami Herald must know that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Holy shit. And so then they put a Daily Beast article about the same thing. Donald Trump campaign admits it rented Jeffrey Epstein's jet. Did they specifically ask for Jeffrey Epstein's jet? Holy shit, these people. Donald Trump's campaign confirmed the former president chartered a private jet this weekend that once belonged to Jeffrey Epstein, but said he did so by accident. Well, no, they called the charter company and said, hey, we need a plane. Got a plane? Yeah, we need a plane. Can it be this plane? No, we need a little bit bigger plane. And so we got this plane. It's a Gulfstream, a big-ass Gulfstream, and we can fit however many people you need in it. Okay, we'll use it. How would they think a charter company in Chino, California would have Jeffrey Epstein's plane from Florida? Do you think they planned that? Probably not. Holy shit, these people are stupid. The campaign official told the Daily Beast on Monday afternoon that Trump and his staff, blah, 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 had no idea the Gulfstream G550 was once owned by one of the country's most infamous sex traffickers. The official said the jet was provided to the campaign by a charter flight company. Yeah, when their plane had troubles. The campaign had absolutely no idea the aircraft we rented was previously owned by Mr. Epstein, the official said, adding that Trump's advisors only learned of the jet's shady past once journalists contacted them on Monday. Trump said he took only one flight on the jet, a relatively short 363-mile hop from Jackson Hole, Wyoming to Aspen, Colorado, where he was attending fundraisers on the campaign trail. So it's so funny because now this again, the Daily Beast article is going on and talking about how all the people on Twitter were just a buzz about this. Former President Donald Trump landing in a Gulfstream G550 in Aspen for a campaign fundraiser event. Interestingly, they put Trump 2024 on the left side. More shots to come. Oh my gosh. And again, so that's you got Miami Herald, you got the Daily Beast, you got USA Today, all reporting on this. Oh, they just are they love it. And then here's the Trump ramble slurs his way through Elon Musk interview. It was an unmitigated disaster. Well, for you, because you don't want to hear Donald Trump. All right, thank you, Gunfox, for those articles. Let's move on. I want to just go through some headlines from other outlets that were talking about this. And this is how the media decided. I guess rambling is one of the keywords. And honestly, it was a bit rambling because it was just a conversation. It wasn't an interview. It wasn't succinct by any stretch of the imagination. They had no time limit. They just talked about stuff. Elon Musk would say stuff and Trump would reply, and they were just having a conversation. So here, Reuters, rambling Trump, Musk interview marred by tech issues. Musk blames cyber attack for technical problems. Interview attracts more than 1.3 million listeners. Musk opens with questions about assassination attempt. Trump says Harris looks like the most beautiful actress. Oh. Wow, that's an interesting way to take that part of the conversation out of context. Said it looks like she was acting and really isn't trying to do the part. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. This just in, Trump shat in Al Capone's former toilet. He stayed in the same room as Oswald. He drank from a cup John Wayne Gacy used, and he used a butcher knife Dahmer used. And he got a ride in Hitler's favorite car. See, thank you. That's very important. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. All the news that is fit to rumor. Good morning, Select a Boy, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
So that's the Reuters headline. AP, Trump and Musk talk about assassination attempt and deportations during glitchy chat on X. So at least they're not necessarily, they editorial about the glitchy. Looks like they're just straightforward reporting on it. Donald Trump recounted his assassination attempt in vivid detail and promised the largest deportation in U.S. history during his high-profile return to the social media platform, formerly known as Twitter, a conversation that was plagued by technical glitches. Yes, they had a denial of service attack on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. If I had not turned my head, I would not be talking to you right now as much as I like you, Trump told X's owner Elon Musk. Musk, former Trump critic, said the Republican nominee's toughness, as demonstrated by his reaction to last month's shooting, was critical for national security. There's some real tough characters out there, Musk said. If they don't think the American president is tough, they will do whatever they want to do, which we were still around for that part of the interview. Oh my gosh. Oh, Select a Boy. Oh my gosh. Donald Trump also once cut in line at a pizza party once. Gosh, dang it. Good morning, K-Show. Good morning, Unacceptable Views. I see you both there. All right, so another headline, this one from The Independent. Trump repeats the same talking points during Musk interview, but the former president's lisp steals the show. Oh, you're going to make fun of his speech impediment? Interesting, because if sir can't use that as an excuse for Joe Biden constantly. Now, this is interesting, too. Trump repeats the same talking points. I wonder if there's an independent article. This is the Independent that's owned by the New York Times, I believe. I wonder if there's an article that all of Kamala Harris's stump speeches so far have been exactly the same. She's used it over and over. I wonder if they said anything about that yet. Anyway, did Trump pause campaign rallies because of his massive lisp he has had on this Twitter interview with Elon? One X user posted. Okay, thank you to that one X user out of the 1.3 million people who were listening. As Donald Trump and Elon Musk discussions got underway Monday night on X, the former president's voice raised immediate questions among listeners, many of whom said they thought it sounded like he was speaking with a distinct lisp. The live one-on-one between former President Trump, who last week floated at least see, this is important for them too. They want to make sure that you know that Donald Trump has made misstatements, at least 162 misstatements, exaggerations, and outright lies. Now, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to put it. At least 162 misstatements, exaggerations, and outright lies. What's the ratio of those? Because those are three different things. They're completely different things. A misstatement, something that just could be inadvertent. Exaggerations, yeah, Donald Trump loves to exaggerate. And then outright lies, well, you have to assume that you know what's in his heart to know if he's lying. Maybe he believes what he's saying. Is it a lie when you believe what you say, or is it a misstatement? Well, and an exaggeration, well, shoot, I bet there are more than 162 exaggerations, because that's Donald Trump's MO since he was, since the 80s, since I knew of him in the 80s. So I'm just curious, what's the ratio? And here we go. During a 64-minute press conference at his Florida country club, because they said there was 162 misstatements, and ex-boss Musk, whose false or misleading claims about the 2024 election have amassed more than 1 billion views on the social media site. And it was derailed by technical glitches for some 40 minutes before finally starting. So yeah, it started 40 minutes late. And then again, they're going to talk about Trump's lisp. Did Trump pause campaign rallies because of this massive lisp he has on this Twitter interview with Elon? One ex-user posted, "Is it just me? What is wrong with Trump's voice?" Another wrote, "Sounds like he has a lisp." Trump got hit by a CIA lisp gun, posted a third. So lots of people wanted to talk about his speech impediment. Well, I wonder how long has he had that speech impediment in the trial? Can he use it as an excuse the way Joe Biden used stuttering? In The Guardian, the Musk-Trump X interview, a surprisingly dull meeting of two planet-sized egos. Now, remember, The Guardian is from the other side of the pond, so to speak, and I'm sure they were all on board with the EU trying to censor this particular event. In the New York Times, the headline, Musk-Trump talk after glitchy start, 2-hour ramble. Now, I don't have the full article here. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. I'm sure it's archived. Let's see. Let's go copy. Let's see if anyone's already archived this. Let's get the lead sentence on it. Maybe. There it is, 2 hours ago. So here is the New York Times version of this. Problems in the live stream renewed questions about X's ability to handle big events, but it also showed how the platform could still grab attention. Well, questions about whether it can handle big events. How many times has the New York Times had 1.4 million viewers on a live stream? I'm just curious. I know that CNN rarely gets 1 million viewers or listeners, whatever. Their first line at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time Monday, a live audio stream on X of a conversation between Elon Musk and former President Donald J. Trump flickered to life after a 35-minute delay, but only for a moment. Trump's mic came on and shuffling sound was heard. A second later, his mic cut out. Well, I think they were doing it on their phones. They weren't on a computer. Like when I go on Spaces, I use this same setup because I don't like how the phone's version is a little glitchy, especially when there's a lot of people on it. Plus, you cut out a lot too. Not a lisp, audio issues. Yeah, I don't know which one it was. Good morning, Woodcutter, by the way. 7 minutes later, the glitches appeared to be resolved and the discussion began. Mr. Musk, who has endorsed Mr. Trump's presidential run, and Mr. Trump greeted each other as Donald and Elon. They then began a friendly chat about immigration, the economy, President Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris, the presumptive Democratic nominee. The two men talked for over 2 hours with more than 1 million people listening in at the same time, according to X. Well, that's what the counter said. And then they got in the conversation. So that is probably the most neutral description of how this went off so far. And I'm surprised because it's the New York Times. So I think that was a fair description. Now, I'm not obviously not reading the rest. They basically going to talk about what they talked about. Let's see. Oh, this is another one too. So a Washington Post reporter had suggested the White House censor misinformation from Trump, from the Trump-Musk interview. And so did the EU. The EU demanded that Elon Musk censor this event. This is another one here it is. Here's the video.
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread of that, or
zero
sort of intervening in that?
Zero.
But it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here.
Are you serious? Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Where's my mouse?
When it comes to misinformation, disinformation.
What role does the president have in ensuring that the Washington Post stop printing misinformation and disinformation? What role does the president of the United States have in that issue? That's basically what he's asking. They have no jurisdiction whatsoever. None. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Zip. I can't think of any other. Zero. None. I can't even believe he asked the question. None. If you think there is misinformation, then you tell us what your information is. That's all you got. The First Amendment does not give the government power to determine whether something is misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, or hate speech. None. Zero. None whatsoever. Fuck you. And good night. Let's hear the rest of her answer. Maybe.
Don't have anything to read out from here about.
I don't have anything to read out. She wasn't expecting the question, so she can't read it out. Hi, Linda Hunter. Holy shit.
Ways that we're working on it, but we.
Why are you working? What are you working on? What? Hold on. What'd she say?
We're also platforms have when it comes to misinformation.
You have none.
Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but we believe that they have the responsibility. These are private companies, so we're also mindful of that too. Look, it is. I think it is incredibly important to call that out as you're doing. I just don't have any specifics on what we have been doing internally as it relates to the. It's not something that I'm tracking, and I'm sure the president's not tracking it either.
Okay, there you go. I got an idea. Here's what you can do. Here's what the government can do. And actually, I'm going to quote Tim Walz on this one because this is one of the very rare times that I agree with something Tim Walz said, although not necessarily applying to what he was talking about at the time. But here's what they can do. Mind your own damn business. And if you think something's misinformation, then why don't you figure out a way to disseminate information that you can counter that? That's about it. Get the fuck out of my life and shut the fuck up. All right. This is CNN. Here we go. Eli. Oh, and this is it's so funny. Their headlines are just typical. Elon Musk gave a new reason why X had another meltdown, introducing a Republican presidential candidate. Yeah, because too many people wanted to see it, and they had a DDoS attack. Elon Musk said an attack on X delayed his interview with former President Donald Trump by 42 minutes. But Musk also blamed mistakes by X's staff for the snafu that prevented people from joining the stream. Quote, given the prominence of this conversation, there was, of course, 100% probability of DDoS attacks. Musk posted on his social media platform early Tuesday morning, referring to a distributed denial of service attack that he claimed overwhelmed X's server with bogus traffic. We also had some unforced errors ourselves, Musk added, but good work by the X team fending off the attacks and fixing our mistakes. All is well that end well. The meltdown recalled the botched announcement of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' presidential bid in May 2023, which also took place on a streaming interview with Musk on X, then known as Twitter. The audio cut in and out for the first several minutes of that interview, which was subsequently ended and restarted, delaying the start for about an hour. On a social media platform, Truth Social, Trump had called DeSantis' technical difficulties on X a disaster, which Vice President Kamala Harris' campaigns reposted during the meltdown Monday night. Well, except once they got it started, it was pretty clear sailing. At the time, X had encountered a number of glitches and outages, which may have been related to tens of thousands of I can't even believe I'm reading this line. They're saying that may have been related to the tens of thousands of layoffs at the company shortly after Musk bought it and took over as CEO. He has since named Linda Yaccarino CEO, but Musk still oversees the technical aspects of the platform. So anyway, they were going to talk about, they're taking a shot at Musk. Daily Mail, again, here's the Daily Mail. Trump and Musk recap, slurring Donald and giggling Elon shower each other with compliments in a bizarre 2-hour ramble that was overshadowed by technical failures. Anyone watch the whole thing in the chat? Were there other technical issues? Because once they got started, at least from when I was watching the hour and maybe a half that I watched, I don't recall any technical failures. It sounded just fine, except for it was weird hearing Musk or Donald Trump's lisp. So anyway, they have a whole bunch of different quotes, whatever. Harris campaign reacts to the Musk interview. Trump and Elon converse on X for more than 2 hours. Trump floats that Kamala looks like Melania on Time's cover. That's interesting. And then Trump mocks the beach-going Biden. So ABC News, their coverage is... Trump and Musk talk about assassination attempt and deportations during glitchy chat on X. Again, I don't, at least on my end, there was not a lot of glitches. I don't recall any once they got started. Maybe they did. Maybe it was when they first started, they had one small glitch, but what was glitchy about it? Aren't these the same people who have had no issues with Biden's delaying every appearance he does by 45 to 60 minutes? Yes, it's the same damn people. So they started with the assassination attempt. Let's see. Got a couple more. BBC. Musk X talk with Trump hit by tech glitches. Okay. There's one glitch at the beginning. It started late. Does anyone recall major glitches during this thing? I don't. And maybe it was after I left, because I left about, I guess I only watched about an hour of it, but I had to get to bed. I don't recall there being glitches. But look, I'm sure they're thrilled with the idea that there's been 1 billion views by now, all of these people. This is also the New York Times. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Because I want you to be able to see the article if you want. So I'll get you an archived version here. Yep, here it is. So, and now this is amazing. This headline from the New York Times. Musk tees up softball questions for Trump on X after technical problems. Softball questions, or they just talked about things that they wanted to talk about? What softball questions? This wasn't an interview. And certainly wasn't an interview that This is CNN would do, or NBC News or ABC News because they're all out to get Trump. And Musk and Trump talked about ideas that Trump wants to do. And so you're not, when you're talking about what he wants to do, it's not necessarily adversarial. Elon Musk offered frequent praise as he proved a sympathetic partner to help amplify Donald J. Trump's views on social media platform that once barred him for pushing his false election claims. Oh, goodness gracious. This is someone named Michael Gold. What was supposed to be Donald Trump's triumphant return to social media platform central to his presidency was marred by glitches on Monday night. Marred? Well, yeah, it was late. It started late because of what they said was a DDoS attack. When live streamed conversation on X between Mr. Trump and its owner Elon Musk was significantly delayed by technical issues. So yeah, it was delays. But once their chat began, 40 minutes after it was scheduled, Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump's newly developed camaraderie was on clear display, with the billionaire tech entrepreneur lobbing softball questions that allowed Trump to rattle off the talking points that have animated his presidential campaign. You mean like they've done in every single Joe Biden press conference when they gave him a list of people to call on? Good God. It wasn't this, and again, this was a conversation. It wasn't even a question and answer. They just started talking about topics. The conversation offered little new information about Mr. Trump's views. Over the course of more than 2 hours, Mr. Trump attacked Vice President Kamala Harris, his Democratic opponent, as a phony who, alongside President Biden, failed to address crossings at the U.S. border. At least he got something right. He repeated a number of false claims, including that the 2020 election cycle was rigged. Well, it depends on your definition of rigged there, buddy boy. You mean like when Time Magazine put the big article about we did it? We made Donald Trump look bad and Joe Biden, we helped get Joe Biden elected in the media? I mean, that's kind of rigged, isn't it? If the entire media is trying to amplify one candidate as all good and holy and the other one as the devil incarnate, you don't think that's rigging an election? Not even a little? Not actually being just journalists and talking about what they say and do and what their plans are? I would call that rigged. But again, there's different definitions of rigged too, aren't there? And also that the criminal cases against him were a conspiracy by the Biden administration to undermine his candidacy, and the leaders of other nations were deliberately sending criminals to and their non-productive peoples of America. Now, again, you don't think that the lawfare is just geared towards Donald Trump to hurt him? Look, they hate him so much that they're trying to destroy him. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Okay, so that's New York Times. And then we saw the last two articles that Gunfox gave me. Look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you the rest of the articles and get out of here because it is that time. Here we go. National Pulse, which is very Trump friendly, has this article. Trump's stunning return to X panics EU and UK governments, and here's why. This is the fascinating one. Can I get this over here? No, the wrong side. Let's go full middle. There we go. Former President Donald Trump has returned to X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, he hasn't completely returned to X. He posted something about the interview. He posted one thing, and then he went back. He did this conversation with Elon Musk, but then he went back to Truth Social. And a lot of people at Truth Social are mad that he even went over to Twitter, but he did go back to Truth Social. The 2024 Republican presidential nominee had largely been absent from the social media platform since the then sitting president's account was suspended on January 8, 2021 by the company's former ownership under Jack Dorsey. Since his suspension over 3 years ago, the former Republican president founded his own social media company, Truth Social, which went public earlier this year, earning Trump billions over the past 2 years. An exclusive agreement with Truth Social had largely kept Trump from other social media platforms. However, it is believed that deal has since expired. Trump's first post on X since he posted in Georgia mugshot on August 2024 August 24th, 2023 came just after 11 a.m. in the form of a 2-minute video regarding the Biden-Harris Department of Justice lawfare campaign against him. However, some speculated that the video may have just been a misposted ad, as the Trump campaign began running paid political ads on the former president's account late Sunday night. So anyway, and then they go into some of the interview. In New York Post, Trump hammers defective Democrats on border, inflation, foreign policy, and a wide-ranging interview on Elon Musk. Now that's obviously the Post is a little more Trump-friendly, so that's a different type of headline that you've seen so far. Breitbart exclusive: Trump crushes Kamala. Excuse me, say it right. Don't be racist, Marty. Crushes Kamala Harris with a list of flip-flops, fracking, border, defunding police, and more. Let's see, is that also from the, yes it is, it's from the, what is this? Former President Trump, the Republican nominee for president in 2024, it said presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Vice President Kamala Harris ongoing efforts to flip-flop her positions on several major issues such as energy, immigration, crime, healthcare, and more via press aides rather than explaining things for herself will not work in the long term. This came from the interview with, this Trump's comment came during an hour-long exclusive interview with Breitbart News here at Mar-a-Lago, his luxurious seaside resort and club. On Thursday evening, specifically, Harris has in recent weeks had press staffers oftentimes anonymously issue statements across the media, changing her long-held positions on everything from her support for banning fracking to her support for the radical Medicare for All healthcare vision that would destruct America's healthcare plans, to her positions on immigrations and crime and policy and more. So that actually was from an interview with Breitbart. Also in the headlines, election interference, EU demands Musk abide by censorship diktats during the Donald Trump interview. I read this letter last night, and it is in the article. I highly recommend you read it if you need some good comedy material, as if they have any say on what, It's fascinating how they think that they're going to censor Donald Trump in a live interview. What were they expecting? I'm not so sure. Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Nice to see you. And then in Breitbart also, Van Jones says Harris is getting more attention, doesn't need to talk to the press right now. There's a big thing about Kamala Harris won't answer questions from the press. And Van Jones seems to think they should pull a Biden and not have her talk to the press at all. Push a Biden 2020 on Monday's broad. Well, here, how long is this? Is this one of those? No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing 9 minutes of these assholes. On Monday's broadcast of on Monday's broadcast of This is CNN. AC 360, CNN senior political commentator Van Jones argued that the 2024 presidential candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris, is getting the most attention right now and doesn't need to talk to reporters right now because if it ain't broke, why fix it? And that's why the president, or former president, Donald Trump, needs to begin defining Kamala Harris if she refuses to do it herself, because she's a whack job. She got a convention coming up. She's going to go up another point or two, and then she can talk to a reporter. So don't wait till after the convention to talk to reporters. I think that is what they're going to do. He added that Harris is doing exactly what she needs to do and is going to talk to a reporter in the future, and he would talk to one if he was her. After citing Harris's interview with CNN right after the June presidential debate, he added, "I'm not worried about her talking to a reporter, but right now, if it ain't broke, why fix it?" Okay, we just said the same thing. They wrote it twice. I don't need to read it again. Anyway. And then there's a few other articles, but I am going to let you discover what they are because I got to go, guys. I really do. So thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Hit the like button, share the stream, all that stuff. And thanks, sponsors, AD and Gunfox. You are awesome. I appreciate you and everyone in the chat who joins us often on this show. I really appreciate you. But unfortunately, I'm so glad we've had this time together. But sometimes it feels like things get started, and before you know it, comes time to say so long. Yeah, that's all botched up. I got to go. Thank you. My name's P-Dog Knight. I'm out of here. Here come the links, and have a great day. Bye-bye. And this is silent too. What the actual F is going on here? All right. Well, you can look at the outro, and I'm just going to chat. Maybe I'll just sing along. Boom. Doom, 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 doom. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Please hit the like button, share the stream, and you can sponsor the show by hitting Super Chats, doing Streamlabs, or you can do Venmo and Cash App, which are in the description down below. Thank you very much, and I gotta go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.